The regular season begins late this afternoon. Out here having fun in the warm California sun. The world champion Anaheim Angels open up the season against their AL West rival Texas Rangers. And we are here an hour and a half before it begins on ESPN and launching our new HD service to see players like Alex Rodriguez, the major league leader in homers and ribbies last year, and see if the Rangers can make a move up the ladder as the Anaheim Angels did last year. Baseball's back. Baseball Tonight is back. I'm Chris Berman. It's a 90-minute extravaganza. We truly are Angels in the outfield right here. Last year, it ended thunderous World Series here in Anaheim. And back with us is Harold Reynolds. Now, let's see. We had a manager work with us last year, and that was Buck Showalter. He's on the field managing the Rangers.
Over there.
There was a manager with the Mets last year, but he's up with us now, and that's Bobby Valentine. Welcome.
Thanks, Chris.
Welcome.
Great being with you. Let's do it.
Truly a celebration opening day. What are your thoughts on opening day?
Well, if you've never done it before, it's kind of like going out on a date, you know, the first time you have that same anxiety, anticipation that maybe this is the special date that's going to lead to the celebration at the end of the year. It's also a time when guys line up and they truly feel the honor of wearing a Major League Baseball uniform.
Opening day for you, Harold?
Since I'm single, I guess I didn't have to make good first dates. I played on some poor teams, and you know, it's the one thing though on opening day, everybody feels like it's a chance for them to still win.
You know what opening day is? You know what it is? It is truly a celebration.
Baseball Tonight, presented by Radio Shack.
Well, we've already told you how excited we are here to open up the season, to be here in Anaheim. Bobby Valentine, Harold Reynolds, Chris Berman, down on the field. Who's more excited than the defending champs, and who's more excited than our own Andrew Jackson, Peter Gammons, and the main host of Baseball Tonight, Carl Ravitch? Good being with you guys.
Well, Boomer, it's a pleasure to have you out here as well, and thanks very much. And again, we're on the field of the world champion Anaheim Angels. Benji Molina, the man who catches a very good pitching staff, joins us. And Benji, we were here last October when Darren Erstad caught that ball. Where were you? What were you thinking?
First thing when the ball came out, I was thinking just try to get it yourself, man. Don't let anybody else catch it. So I tried to run out there, but it was too late. I wasn't the mound.
Especially we see John Lackey, opening day starter. He was in Double-A at this time last year. Francisco Rodriguez, become a cult hero. He was in Double-A last year. Can these two guys be better than what we saw in the postseason?
I think they might be better a little bit. You know, they can get better a little bit, but they show so much. So much on the mound. Their composure is so good. The pitches, they can pitch. I mean, I don't think they could do any better than that, and that's really good.
Well, Benji may not be better. He's certainly a little bit bigger. As we've seen, he put on a little muscle. So anyone who questions the hunger or desire of the Anaheim Angels, Boomer, there's a very good answer for you right there. Back to you.
All right, guys, and of course the Angels are the shortest offseason they'll ever experience because opening day now, as you can see, is in March. Of course, it was April through the years, opening day memories, but you know what? Opening day is truly sacred. There are sellouts in all the ballparks. I mean, it's a holiday in Cincinnati. A lifetime of opening day moments. Here they are, starting with who else? The band. We kick things off with who else? The Bambino. April 18th, 1923. 74,000 strong gather in the Yankees' brand new stadium to watch Babe Ruth hit the first ever home run in the house he himself built. April 15th, 1947. As important an opener as there ever was, Jackie Robinson breaks the color barrier. As sad an opener as there ever was, 1973, the late Roberto Clemente is honored by his Pittsburgh Pirates.
It is my honor at this time to announce and officially retire Roberto's number and uniform.
3-1 pitch. There's the drive into left field. That ball is going, and out of here. Henry Aaron has just tied Babe Ruth in the all-time home run parade.
3-2 pitch. Swung on. High fly ball. Way back. Might be. Could be. And in. And in. And in. Holy cow. Wow, did he hit that ball.
Dante Bichette. A high drive. Way back. And there's the storybook ending for the Rockies. The Rockies have won it on the home run by Bichette at last.
As you look down to get the sign, you have to contend with the snow blowing in your face. An opening day to remember, or maybe to forget. Well, years from now, how many people will say they were there on opening day when they played through the snow at Yankee Stadium?
Back to back. How about that?
Bonds hits one high and deep to left field. Bonds hits one high down the line. This one is out of here. He hit it out. On opening day, he's done it again.
What will we see on opening day this year of the active players? Junior, and I remember a couple on opening night one time in Seattle, which we did. Harold, I know you were there. Greg Maddux, opening day, fairly automatic. What a surprise. Randy Johnson with K's. Mr. Valentine, the Mets do well on opening day.
How about that?
I wonder what old Case would have said about that. At any rate, we will see what happens in the next couple of days. We have plenty on this 90-minute preseason opening day edition of Baseball Tonight. We will predict the NL East and the AL East. Are the Braves going to be able to hold off Jim Thome and the Phillies? Tempers flared this spring. Should we do something about it seriously? Or is it just one of those springs? And we will hear from Barry Bonds. What did he possibly do for an encore this season? Stay with us. We'll be right back live in Anaheim.
Sensitive teeth, what do you do to avoid pain?
I de-ice my iced tea.
I microwave ice cream.
Stop the pain. Just change your toothpaste to dentist-recommended Sensodyne to build a barrier against pain.
It's easy.
Stop the pain. Change to Sensodyne.
Sweet 16 coverage continues tonight with Louisiana Tech versus LSU at 7 and Minnesota versus Texas at 9 on ESPN2.
We go where the stories are.
Here in New York,
investigate the issues.
War did break out in the Middle East.
Interview the people.
What did you make?
And uncover the truth.
We came here to Vietnam because it is the poorest of the states.
OTL Nightly, weeknights following the late Sports Center on ESPN.
Baseball
Baseball Tonight, presented by Radio Shack. You've got questions, we've got answers.
Welcome back, everyone, to Baseball Tonight on the field here at Edison Field, where the only flags that are flying are AL West flags. Pretty soon they'll raise the banner for a World Championship, and we're joined now by Rafael Palmeiro of the Texas Rangers. We're sitting on a number of milestones this season. Tomorrow, Sammy Sosa could get to 500. You're 10 shy of 500 career home runs. Players like to say we never think about that, but still, in the offseason, you must realize you're 10 away from a magical mark. What is it like?
It's exciting to me. It's something that I never really thought I could do when I first started. But along with Sammy, we both started pretty much at the same time. It's a magical number. The guys that are at 500 are either in the Hall of Fame or are going to go in the Hall of Fame. So I'm not sure where that puts me, but it's a great group of guys that I'll be in with.
And you're recognized as one of the premier hitters, not just home run hitters in the game. And you've got A-Rod and you've got Juan. There's a lot of talk around baseball about Mark Teixeira. How good is this young hitter?
He's great. I mean, he's going to be a great player in this game. The thing that impresses me most is the adjustment that he makes. He was able to make a lot of adjustments in spring training. He's very impressive. He's got a lot of power.
He's got power. You have new power here with Buck Showalter. Good luck this season.
Thank you very much.
Rafael Palmeiro, thanks very much. Since '93, Boomer, we talked about Sammy Sosa a second ago. There's Sosa, there's Bonds, then there's Rafael Palmeiro as far as home runs being hit. Back to you.
All right, guys, and people, Carl and Peter and Rafael Palmeiro almost at 500 home runs and so high on some of the other lists. All right, let's get right to it. We're going to look at the Eastern divisions. We're going to put you guys on the spot. Is that all right?
Here we go.
All right. Now,
I know he's ready.
Last year, Atlanta has won the East 8 million years in a row. They edged Montreal by 19 games last year. The Yankees beat Boston by 10.5 in the AL East. Where are you headed? Who wants to start this thing?
I'll start this off. I'm picking Atlanta to win the National League East because they got the best outfield in baseball, for one. Chipper Jones, Andrew Jones, and Gary Sheffield. Dangerous. But I think Mike Hampton, if healthy and throwing like he can, will win 15 games for them. Bobby?
I've never rooted for the Braves, so I can't start now and say they're going to win. Okay, I just can't do it. But I think that Larry Bowa's enthusiasm can get into the gut of his players. I hope that his enthusiasm can get into the minds and the hearts of his fans. If, in fact, it happens, what the Rally Monkey did here in Anaheim last year, Bowa's enthusiasm could do the fans in Philly and tear that place down at the end of the year.
They could, or boo it. They could do that too.
They've done that before.
You like going against the grain in the East.
Yeah, I did. I had to do it, and I like Bo, and I like that team. They put together a really fine team.
Yeah, they have. Yes, they have. Let's go down to Carl. Let's see where Peter's going on this thing.
All right, Boomer, thank you. We saw Atlanta and New York. I mean, Boomer jokingly said a million years. When you win 11 straight division titles, it seems like a million. But the Yankees, not too shabby, have won 5 in a row. You like them again?
No, I like the Yankees. I like the Braves because I'll tell you why. I'm really worried about Hampton and Bird's injury, but the team in the field and John Smoltz in that bullpen. Bobby Cox is a genius at putting together a bullpen, and John Smoltz is one of the great closers of the last decade, and he is a dominant factor. I love the Yankees because their lineup is really good. I like what they have in terms of starting pitching, but while they have injuries, I think Jose Contreras is going to turn out to be the most important guy. While they have Juan Acevedo close, he's going to be what Mariano Rivera was to Wetland in '96. When a couple of those veteran pitchers can't make it to 30 starts, he can take over and start. He's a great pitcher, and they're going to have a lot of competition because I think the Red Sox will be the wild card.
I agree with you on that. We'll go back to Boomer and remind you we'll have much more picks coming up a little bit later. Chris?
Yeah, we'll look at all the Easts and the Centrals and the Wests, and you know what? It's an exciting time for us here, though, at ESPN, because as we get set for baseball, we're bringing in a new age of television as well. Those of us ESPN lifers, we like to say, another day, another service. It's the dawning of the age of Aquarius. Right now, as you watch on ESPN, we are launching ESPN HD. Pictures bigger, so much brighter, more detail. For example, we shot last night's three-way series here as Benji Gill followed Garrett Anderson with a home run for the Angels off the Dodgers in this yard last night. The Dodgers did come back to win at 6-5, but this is the start of the 21st century, and we personally are glad to be able to fly in the clouds. 5 years from now, you're going to know HD, you can't live without it. A new service here tonight on this show and on the game from ESPN. When we return, plenty more to come here from Anaheim as we roll on. Boy, can the Angels with their rings, can the Rally Monkey help bring the ring again here to Anaheim? We'll see. And you heard Carl talk about milestones. Every time Barry Bonds swings the bat, he's on the verge of another milestone. going to be a season of milestones. We'll detail them in a minute.
See something you feeling?
Yeah, classic, size 10.
Catch me at a light, holla, I ain't hearing you, dog. You can't stop her. Classics on my mind on the way to Foot Locker.
I usually don't walk, but when F.A. Bebop pass it, you could better send some Reebok classics. It's good seeing the whole classic.
Yeah, size 10.
Like now.
Yeah, it's real simple. Feel the beat now. Go ahead, cop a pair of classic Reebok.
Hot Sims, hot tubs, hot action. Brace yourself. The Sims are on your console. Rated T for teen.
EA Games. Challenge everything. They've been loved, they've been hated, but no team has been more dominant than those damn Yankees. Now on their 100th birthday, salute the Pinstripes, the Bambino to the Bronx Zoo.
If you don't like it, you're fired.
Mr. October to Mr. November. Games that were perfect, players that were clutch. These pinstripes never fade. Damn Yankees. The marathon continues all this weekend, only on ESPN Classic.
At Thai Spice, you get your meal quick with our fast, casual dining atmosphere. Fresh. Each gourmet meal is cooked to order and bursts with flavorful spices and herbs for delightful tastes in every dish. And hot. From no spice to fire, it's Thai Spice for authentic Thai food prepared just for you. For fresh, convenient, and healthy, it's Thai Spice, with several locations to serve you throughout Orange County.
Shall we begin? First, let it breathe for a moment. Then draw in the bouquet. Next, take a small taste, letting the complexity of the flavors frolic upon your palate. Now spit it out.
I don't think so, wine guy.
Taste the amazing flavor of the new pepperoni Napa. Now you can get a large for just $13.99, only at Round Table.
So good. Well, the Rangers taking their infield practice. We're getting set for opening night in baseball. Here in the late afternoon at Anaheim, the Angels, the defending world champs, against the Texas Rangers. AL West battle to kick it off tonight. Tuesday, the Angels will finally receive the spoils of their victory. The rings valued at about $15,000 apiece. Now, the players have not yet seen these designs, but ESPN has. We're sneaky. We recently went north of the border to Calgary to see how Armenian jeweler Miran Armutlu makes lifelong dreams shine.
Welcome to Intergold, where we've had a very busy off-season producing the World Championship rings for the Anaheim Angels. What you're seeing here is the artwork stage. Before we do anything, we need to get into choosing the different sides that are going to be incorporated into the ring. I'd say we propose between 80 and 90 different versions. At the end of the day, it's their story, and we wanted it to be very unique and different to them. At this stage, the milling machines create the actual mold from which the rings will be made. These machines are $500,000 milling machines that use cutters that are accurate to a millionth of an inch. The finest cutter that we use to create some of these molds are a tenth of a human hair. Once the molds are cut, we move to the next stage of the process, where the molds are injected with wax to create a wax impression of the ring. The molds are injected with wax at 350 degrees at about 120 to 130 psi of pressure. It takes approximately 5 to 7 seconds, and the end result is a wax impression of the ring. Liquid plaster is poured over the wax molds. The hardened plaster is placed in these ovens, where the oven reaches 1350 degrees, at which time the wax is eliminated. We shoot 14 karat gold into the plaster mold. That's about 1780 degrees. This is what gold rings look like before they're polished. They have absolutely no luster. You probably wouldn't pick it up off the street if you saw it. It's not until the gold is polished where it takes on a full luster and turns into something you'd want to wear. Each ring is comprised of 4 pieces. He's using a 14-karat solder, which melts at approximately 1600 degrees to bond the pieces together. Each ring contains 57 diamonds and 15 rubies for a total gem weight of over 3.5 carats. Each stone is individually measured and set by hand. This is probably the longest part of the manufacturing process, where it takes about 5.5 to 6 hours to set each ring. Et voila, the finished product. It's taken 68 craftsmen 30 days to complete the project. The ring weighs 60 grams compared to a normal wedding ring of 5 to 6 grams. One side of the ring has the player's name and the year. The other side has the Angels' first championship over the replica of the stadium. And the fattest finger award goes to Mike Sosha at size 15. And no, the Rally Monkey does not get a ring.
So the ring is coming to the Angels on Tuesday, but Randy Johnson says, you know, we kind of like our rings from a year before. He's on the verge of a major milestone. We'll tell you that, but talk about major. It could be tomorrow on ESPN at 1 o'clock. Sammy Sosa against Tom Glavine. One homer gives him 500 milestones next.
Why do I rent from Enterprise? For more cargo room, more people room, or more headroom. Enterprise. So easy, it's like having a second car. Or third.
Pick Enterprise. We'll pick you up.
Inside every can of Minwax is the secret to enhancing wood's natural beauty. Minwax rich wood stains and long-lasting protective finishes make it easy to turn any house into a beautiful home. Minwax makes and keeps wood beautiful.
Hey, Bob. Hey. You get a new haircut? No. Hey, Bob. Hey. Did you lose weight?
Your jacket, Bob?
Nope.
What's different? He finally asked his doctor about Viagra. Ready to ask your doctor about Viagra for the first time? Find out if a free sample is right for you. To learn more, visit Viagra.com.
Called the sitter, I walked the dog, and I saw the doctor.
Ask your doctor and see the difference.
Get in the car.
You're bound to have a good time with Verizon Wireless and unlimited text messaging for only $2.99 monthly access. Plus, share unlimited night and weekend minutes on the America's Choice National Family Share Plan. So don't miss out on some surefire fun. Verizon Wireless, we never stop working for you.
Elias, I have to go back to my convention. Yeah, I know, but I have a convention.
Un auto allá.
Bueno.
Come on.
I have to go to my convention. I know. I wish I could stay. We got married. I have to go. I love you. I'll call you. But you know, one more thing.
Yeah.
Oh, you smell so good.
ESPN.com presents ESPN Motion, capturing sports as it should be, in motion. Log on to ESPN.com and see how you can watch up-to-the-minute news, highlights, analysis, and interviews. ESPN Motion, television on your computer, only at ESPN.com.
Heading towards game time, 5 o'clock right here out west. The Anaheim Angels set to defend the World Series crown against the Texas Rangers. And since expansion in 1969, 32 world champions, only 9 have better or improved the record from the previous season. Trying to get the Texas Rangers off on the right foot, the man who sat next to us last season, Buck Showalter. Thanks for being with us. We know how you approach a season. What have the players said to you?
Well, I think they're very excited, Carl. You know, reality is around the corner. But I think they're tired of hearing my rhetoric down in spring training. They're ready to play against some people that really matter. And, you know, hey, we'd all like to stay down in spring a little longer, but hey, it's
no,
time.
we wouldn't. No. I'm ready to start.
But Ross, it's time to show me yours and show me ours and see what happens.
Can you have enough starting pitching to contend?
No team can. You know, I've heard some of the complaints out of Anaheim. They're concerned about theirs. Obviously, our guys, with exception of our front 3 guys, don't have a whole lot of track record, so that creates a little uncomfort of not being real comfortable with it. But the only way to get that comfort track record is to run them out there, Peter.
Last season, everybody went to spring training, went to the Rangers complex. They talked about, boy, Blaylock's going to be a superstar. Teixeira's coming. They're both here now. Can you sort of talk about exactly the potential that both have?
Well, first of all, you got to love a guy whose name is Tex and to share in Texas. But I think the thing that caught me the most, Carl, is the attitude and the approach that our young players, position players have. Obviously, they're very skilled, and Teixeira and Blaylock and Michael Young and Kevin Minch, who's going to be here shortly with an injury, and Lance Nix, who was very impressive. I go on and on, but so many things that challenge young players off the field are not going to challenge these guys. They had great upbringing, and they've got a grip on reality. And on top of that, they're very talented.
And having just seen Teixeira, who wears number 9, looks a little bit like Roger Maris. He looks, he got a little Mickey Mantle in him. He looks like a ball player.
That's pretty sacred.
It is pretty sacred. On a team, too, with a bunch of superstars. Buck, best of luck to you.
Thanks, guys.
We're going to miss you this season, but we'll enjoy watching you.
No, you won't. You'll have Bobby going there. Y'all keep it going.
You're right. You're out. You're gone. It's time for Valentine to move in. Well, this is a team made up of superstars, the Texas Rangers. Earlier, we talked to Rafael Palmeiro, 10 shy of 500. Tomorrow on ESPN, Sammy Sosa could reach 500. There are pitchers. Everyone knows about Roger Clemens going for 300. How about David Cohn at 40, 7 wins shy of 200? Just some of the many milestones which can be reached in 2003. Milestone, a significant point in development. See also Barry Lamar Bonds.
Two-walk pitch drive to deep center field. Barry Bonds is formally inducted into Major League Baseball's 600 Club.
Father Time is yet to catch Barry. His 2002 season was perhaps his best ever at the plate. So what might this 38-year-old do for an encore? With 48 home runs this year, Bonds will pass his godfather and childhood idol Willie Mays for third all-time in home runs with 661 career round-trippers. Barry Bonds has become the second man in the history of baseball with 40 homers and 40 steals in one season. Bonds' legs might help him reach another landmark this season. He needs just 7 stolen bases for 500 career swipes, which would make him the first player ever to have both 500 home runs and 500 stolen bases.
And Bonds is going to be walked.
With 78 base on balls in 2003, Bonds will reach another impressive milestone, joining Ted Williams, Babe Ruth, and Rickey Henderson with 2,000 or more career walks. Entering this season, only 17 major leaguers have hit 500 or more home runs. This could change in a hurry. Sammy Sosa enters 2003 with 499 career blasts. With 43 home runs, Sosa will pass Ernie Banks as the Chicago Cubs' all-time home run hitter. 3 others have their sights set on 500 home runs this season. Rafael Palmeiro of the Rangers had only 25 in his first 874 big league at-bats. He continues to get better with age. Palmeiro needs just 10 homers, and he's got 500. Fred McGriff, a consistent 30 home run, 100 RBI man, enters his 18th season, 22 shy of the 500 club. And then there's Ken Griffey Jr., once considered a threat to Hank Aaron's record. Jr. needs to stay healthy. He hits 32. He gets to 500. The race for 400 home runs heats up as well this season. Leading the way, veteran first baseman Andres Big Cat Galarraga. He is set to back up J.T. Snow in San Francisco, and the Big Cat needs just 14 round trippers to reach 400. Astros slugger Jeff Bagwell, 20 home runs shy of the 400 club. He needs 31 hits to reach 2,000. Frank Thomas, looking to prove his critics wrong this season, needs just 24 home runs. He will get to 400, and Matt Williams is only 26 shy of the milestone. Only 20 pitchers in Major League history have 300 wins or more. Roger Clemens is on track to make it 21 this season. The 6-time Cy Young Award winner needs only 7 victories to join this exclusive club. The Rocket also can reach another milestone in 2003. 4,000 strikeouts. Clemens needs 91 Ks to join Steve Carlton and Nolan Ryan as the only others with 4,000 or more.
20 for the big unit.
Don't count Randy Johnson out of the 4,000 strikeout club either. The big unit needs 254 punch-outs to reach 4,000. In his 4 seasons with the Diamondbacks, the big unit has averaged 354 strikeouts a year. If Johnson wins 26 games in 2003, he would tally 250 career wins. Johnson had a career-high 24 wins last year. Tom Glavine has a more realistic chance at reaching 250 wins this season. The newest Mets lefty needs only 8 wins to get there. What about 200 career wins? David Wells needs a 15-win season to reach it. Wells had 19 victories last season. Injury-prone Kevin Brown is 17 wins shy of 200, and Wells' teammate Mike Mussina needs 18 wins this season. And it's not just players approaching milestones either. Cardinals manager Tony La Russa needs only 76 wins to become just the 8th manager in Major League history to get 2,000 victories. Baseball tonight will be able to chronicle, folks, all the milestones throughout the course of the season as you see the players joining the 500 club potentially, and just what a boon it's been since 1980, 2003. 4 players within 32 of 500, and talking about sacred ground. Palmeiro at 490, the only person between he and 500 is Lou Gehrig, who's got 493. Chris?
You know what, Ravi, just seeing those names that those guys will pass as they move up to the early 500s. We just saw it with Bonds and McGuire. It's amazing. Will we see Sammy at 500? We'll be at Shea Stadium, chilly Shea Stadium tomorrow. 1 Eastern, 10 here on the coast. Cubs and Mets. Rick Sutcliffe will join me there. Expos Braves on ESPN 2. Then at 4 o'clock, a pair of games. Pirates and the Reds News Stadium at 4 Eastern. John and Joe go there. Brewers and the Cardinals on ESPN 2 at 4. And then the Yankees open up north of the border with Roger Clemens at the Blue Jays at 7 Eastern on ESPN 2. All right, we gave you our East. Now let our analysts look at the Central. And just thinking that, A, the Miracle Twins, who won their division by 13.5 last year, everybody's on them. And then in the Central last year, the Cardinals won by 13 games. And so, Bobby, you're headed back to those 2 teams, aren't you?
Well, I am headed back to those teams. Actually, I think St. Louis, with their outstanding defense and their very balanced lineup. I mean, they're top to bottom of their lineup, can steal, they can hit homers, they can hit for an average, and they can all play defense. Scotty Rowland added to that defense. I think that's 2 to 3 big ones: offense, hitting, pitching, and defense. And the Twins do those 3 things as well as anyone. They play it in the field, they play it at the plate and around the bases, and they play it in the middle of the diamond. They can pitch well. So I think the Minnesota Twins will be a team to be reckoned with for a long time, especially this season.
I think I'm going to shock everybody with my pick. The Reds. I like Cincinnati. The Reds. I think Griffey's going to stick it to everybody who's been dogging him for the last 3 years. He's going to have a big season. In my mind, if he can carry a club, he's a guy that can do that. He makes everybody around him better, and they have got a solid nucleus that I think we forget about. The Twins, I agree with you, Bobby. They catch the ball better than anybody in baseball. They've got Gold Glovers around the field, and Corey Koski, he's got a chance to win another Gold Glove, and that's another addition at third base. I think they're solid all the way around.
Excitement, boy. What a miracle season the Twins had, and you're saying they're going to have another one. Well, let me throw it back down to you, Carl and Peter. But, you know, Jess, when it took us 2 years to loosen up Showalter, now he's going to go tight again on us, huh?
He went tight on us. You know, Peter, everybody says this season, who's this year's Angels? Last year, the Angels improved 41 games. The Cubs won 67 last year. They improved 30. That's 97. They have a chance. I saw CHC next to your name. You like the Cubs?
Yeah, I think the Cubs could win 20 to 25 more games and win it. And the reason is they're great pitching. I mean, Kerry Wood, I think, is going to have a monster year. Pryor is outstanding. Zambrano, Clement. They've got a deep bullpen with Reminger, Cruz. I mean, I just love that staff. It's a very good division, a 4-team race. And I also love the Twins in a very tough race with the White Sox. They have the best bullpen in the league, and I love their starting pitching. It's much better than last year. Rogers a great addition. This guy, Kyle Loesch, my guess is going to be a guy that jumps from 13 wins to 18 to 20 and leads that staff. The Twins have so much talent. They were definitely the best team in Florida.
There are very few weaknesses. They have the pitching, they have the defense, they have the offense. Peter and I come back, so do Chris, Bobby, and Harold. And when we do, a penny for this guy's thoughts. That's what Vladimir was after. Peter Gammons offers a proposal to put an end to all the fisticuffs on the field. That's ahead. Also ahead of us here, a return to the series. Barry Bonds sits down for a conversation and asks, Barry, who are the 4 best players in baseball right now? And we'll look at the web gems from the spring, the best defense that the guys had to offer. That's ahead on Baseball Tonight from Anaheim.
100th anniversary V-Rod. Claim yours before they're gone.
It's the dugouts, the warm-ups, the smell of the gloves, the dreams. It's the double plays, the bunts, the steals, the diving catches. It's the bigs. It's the bottom of the ninths. It's the 3 and 2s. It's the gones. The plays are made with Rawlings.
Little boy asks his neighbors why they're always working on their yard. Neighbor looks up. Nothing more relaxing. Nothing wrong with getting your hands dirty, she adds. Little boy's dad asks how they manage it all. Neighbor nods across the yard. Nothing runs like a deer. John Deere lawn and garden tractors. Durability, precision, versatility, and exclusive support for everyone who puts more into their yard and expects more out of their tractor.
Great devotion to a single purpose. That defines a team. Those who stumble but still find the will to rise up. Risking pain for the chance to stand out from the crowd. And having tasted both victory and defeat, steadily raise expectation. The NCAA Championships on ESPN.
Thank you. Sony. Samsung. Hewlett Packard. Motorola. Bang.
Hey, it's not my party. Don't look at me.
For the latest name brands and answers to your questions, come to Radio Shack. Get this Sprint color screen phone, only $49.99. View the web and download images in color.
I always wanted to be a name dropper.
Howie!
What?
Radio Shack.
Sunday Night Report, brought to you by Radio Shack. You've got questions, we've got answers.
$5 opening day programs.
Less than 1 hour, folks, until the first pitch. Edison International Field, the scene of the opening night game between the Anaheim Angels and the Texas Rangers.
Of coverage of Major League Baseball on ESPN. It all begins here tonight. You're looking pretty good, Joe, despite the heavy toll of all those many years. All right, now, last year, Game 7, World Series, right here in this ballpark. It was John Lackey on the mound, facing sluggers like Barry Bonds and Jeff Kent of the Giants. Now he's back, the opening night starter for the Angels, facing more sluggers like Alex Rodriguez, Rafael Palmeiro, and Juan Gonzalez of the Rangers.
And the interesting thing, though, John, is the Angels scored more runs than did the Texas Rangers last year. And they did it by being aggressive at the plate, being aggressive on the base path, putting the ball in play. And this is a great example. Last year in Game 6 of the World Series, they're down 5-0. Felix Rodriguez throwing hard, making a lot of good pitches. Spezio just fights him off, fouls him off, and takes a few out of the strike zone until he gets a pitch down and in. Watch. He gets this pitch down in, he hits it out of the ballpark, and that started him on the road back from a 5-0 deficit to a win.
All right, and an historic win. They were 8 outs away from elimination, and they came all the way back and won that one, and then won the World Series. Now, the question is, can the world champion Angels repeat?
Well, John, I think they have to keep that team concept in the front of their minds. They have to be aggressive. They have to play the game the same way. Put the ball in play, steal a few bases, and put runners in motion, and I think they can repeat.
Right, and all those names we became so familiar with last October, they're all still here. The Angels kept them all together, so we'll see them tonight. It all gets started again, and will be Ismael Valdez for Buck Showalter's Texas Rangers, himself a former Angel, Valdez, and John Lackey for Anaheim. Stay tuned. Now, we're going to take you back to Carl Ravitch.
John, thank you. Here at tonight's opening lineups, and for the first time in a long time, in fact, since 1991, it is not Pudge Rodriguez behind the plate, but Einar Diaz. Glanville in center field. Dougie, the 5th different center fielder in the last 5 years for the Texas Rangers. The names in the middle of that lineup fairly familiar. The Angels, as John said, didn't change much. In fact, this is the same lineup that they put on the field most of last season. They changed only 2 bench players. And everyone who says they had career years last year, most agree only Adam Kennedy had a career year. Peter, you look at the Angels, you look at the Rangers, teams that mirror their managers. Feisty guys. This spring we saw a lot of feistiness on the field. Fights. How do you propose that gets stopped?
Well, I don't think you stop fights, but I think there are a couple. First of all, they have got to restore the natural law of the jungle. Umpires, don't give a warning just because a league office says to do it after the first guy gets hit. Allow the retribution, let something happen. But my beef after that is we don't need the streaming video of everybody coming bullpen catchers running out on the field. Let the people on the field take care of it. But anyone who leaves the dugout or leaves the bullpen gets fined. Second offense, you get suspended. We don't need all those people on the field stepping on one another.
It does leave the one guy who got hit, who's in a fight, though, against 9 guys in the field, does it not?
That will never happen.
Okay. All right, thanks, Peter. Back to you.
All right, Carl, Peter, Bobby, Harold, you've been around the game a long, long time. These brawls, and of course, you're in the middle of the Piazza Moto one last year, but is it part of baseball, or they need to get eliminated out somehow?
It's absolutely part of baseball, and it's always part of baseball tonight, and the fans like it. So let's not get into this stuff. Let's not have them, but let there be a good reason. And if a guy goes out and they're going to have a fight, make sure the penalty is stiff enough to justify the means. You got to fine them and suspend them. And when you suspend a player in baseball, it's got to be without pay. Now a guy's going to think twice about throwing at someone's head or about running out there to the mound.
They'll never do that, though, without pay. That's a serious fine.
They do it in other sports. This is a serious business. You guys are making a lot of money. $3,000, Harold, to Mike Piazza is nothing.
But you know what? Sometimes when you get hit, it doesn't matter what the severity of the fine is. You're still going to go after that guy. I think it's got to be policed by the people that are in the game. I totally agree. This is a situation right here where they've thrown at Vladimir Guerrero constantly inside trying to take back home plate. Well, he's had enough. He's going to take part of it. That's part of the game. You know, and then all of a sudden, now if someone retaliates for Vladimir, he cannot sit back and not go ahead and take care of things for that pitcher that throws at somebody for him. I think they got to allow the players and the umpires to police the game better.
Well, let me bring Peter in for a minute here to this discussion. Peter, you know, once upon a time, it may be the same thing as pitching inside way back when with, and we're not going back to the Stone Age here, a guy like a Bob Gibson. I mean, these pitchers pitched inside all the time, and it seemed to take more to precipitate a bench-clearing brawl. So do you think that it should take more to precipitate one, that the players are too edgy?
Well, I mean, I think there are a lot of hitters that are overly sensitive. I think Vladimir's one of them. I mean, he's only been hit twice in 2 years by Florida. I mean, there are guys want to protect their turf. Pitchers want to pitch inside. Hitters like Vladimir want to try to intimidate pitchers to keep them from pitching inside because they want to extend their arms. But that's part of the law of the jungle. I think that they have to allow guys to be able to come back. You know, if your team gets hit, you've got to be allowed to come back and hit somebody as long as you do it right. I just think that the melees with 50 people running around on the field for 20 minutes can get pretty silly.
Yeah, I agree with that. Let me, Bobby, you played in the area that I'm talking about, Gibson, Marichal. I mean, that was how you pitched. Should that be? I mean, should it go back to that?
Absolutely. I think you have to go back to that. Players have to get used to getting hit. I led leagues in getting hit. I got hit in the cheekbone. It broke my face, pushed it down 3.5 inches. I came back and played. That stuff happens. And as far as everyone being out on the field, I don't think it's such a big deal. I think more guys get hurt in victory celebrations than they get hurt in these melees, if you will. Let everyone get out there. You teach your team to eat together, to drink together, to play together, and to fight together. That's part of that code that you're teaching every team. I think it's got to happen.
I think also, you know, Peter made a point, and it was a subtle point, but a very big point, hitting guys properly. You know, we have the thought that every brawl started because the ball was thrown at somebody's head. No, you can hit a guy in the leg. The message is sent. That's how you police the game. Do things properly. And I think that's what we're missing in today's game. Fundamentals, that's a part of fundamental baseball, is how to hit a guy properly and retaliate properly. That's a proper fundamental in baseball that we're missing.
And you got guys out there who haven't been hit and haven't played the game trying to make the rules. Forget it. Let the players, the umpires, and people in uniform take care of this stuff.
Well, you talk about fundamentals. We're going to move it to something a little bit different. Defensive plays, all right? Now, we like showing them every night on Baseball Tonight with Web Gems. How about defensive plays, the Web Gems of spring training? I know not the regulars aren't out there more than 3, 4, 5 innings. Here's a chance for maybe some of the backups to impress. Some of the plays we saw, Melvin Mora for the Orioles.
Bobby, you had him a long time. Melvin can play some positions, huh?
Yeah, he can play them all well, too. Very good center fielder.
Marcus Giles, a little spearhead at second for the Braves.
Little guy with some leaping ability.
Shea Hillenbrand at third for the Red Sox, subject to many a trade rumor. All-star season for him last year. Darren Bragg, you know he doesn't worry about running into a wall.
No, and he plays hard every minute that he's out there here, even in spring training.
Wow. You know why he's a Connecticut guy, Bobby? Woken, Connecticut.
This is a guy you're going to see make a lot of great plays. Orlando Hudson, tremendous range. You see how far he went to go get that ball?
He's second base for Toronto, of course. Chipper now getting it home in left field, isn't he?
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. I still think Braves best outfield in baseball, but Torrey Hunter, maybe the best center fielder in the game. Andrew Jones right there with him. He can go get him, huh?
No doubt about it.
Felipe Lopez, shortstop of the Reds.
They really like this guy. They even talking about having Barry play a little outfield, so this guy plays more.
Well, so those are some of the gems that we saw in spring training. I think we're going to play a little bit with baseball tonight. There's something we call 3 up and 3 down, which, of course, is what you want if you're a pitcher or if you're a manager, etc. So let's take it to defense, guys. Let's look at 3 teams who you think are good defensively, and that'll be you, Bobby, and then 3 teams who you think a little bit of work. Bobby, 3 up. How about 3 up?
Yeah, St. Louis, and I mentioned Roland and all their Gold Glovers. Of course, Minnesota, and we cannot forget the Mariners. And the key with these 3 teams is they all have outstanding first basemen, guys with range when they're off the field. There's John Olerud, and guys with range when they're at the bag. They're tall. They save a lot of throws. They have a lot of range. Minkiewicz can play dive and pick it out of the dirt. And Derek Lee, most underrated guy coming up that you've ever seen. He can play first base. He can pick it like that. He can move it, and he caught more balls at first base than any other National League first baseman last year.
Before I move to Harold here, look, it's interesting. You pick first base. That's not usually the first position you go to when you talk about defensive guys. I'm going to take you back to your early days Dodgers.
Tommy Hutton.
Tommy Hutton, of course. My partner, Tommy Hutton. Excellent. Wes Parker.
Absolutely.
Was he the best? Hernandez, Mattingly.
Wes Parker was really smooth, saved the errors of the infielder, and made all the plays without looking. Keith Hernandez was great. And of course, I mentioned Tommy Hutton. I played with all those guys, and they were 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 1, however you look at it. They can pick it at first.
Well, that's an important, right, saving the errors. Now, making the errors, making pitchers get 4 or 5 outs an inning.
Well, I think the biggest thing, the Astros defensively to me, we talked about range from the first base. I think range as a team. The Astros are a surprising team to me because I don't think they're going to defend very well at all. You got a second baseman in Kent who doesn't have a whole lot of great range. Your first baseman has been hurting the whole year. And then you move Biggio to center field. This guy, no disrespect to Craig, I think he's got a chance to be a Hall of Famer at second base with the numbers he put up. But center field, I don't get it. The Mets, to me, they struggled defensively last year quite a bit. I talked about the Braves being the worst, the best outfield. I think the Mets have the chance to be the worst outfield in the big leagues. And then the White Sox, they just flat out don't catch the ball. I would have picked them to win their division and go a long ways in the postseason, but they haven't caught the ball for 3 seasons. And if you don't catch the ball, you allow the other team to have 4 outs in a big league game, you're in trouble. You got to catch the ball. That's the key to winning.
And that's been through years what's been one of the bugaboos with the Dodgers, right? I mean, they're close. I don't mean back then. I mean, in the last 10, 20 years. Geez, they're close. They don't make those plays. Sometimes the scantest of margins make the difference between a pennant and a non-pennant. When we return, our discussions continue here on our 90-minute baseball tonight. Our controversy on the strike zone and the umpire's interpretation thereof. And there was no controversy here in Anaheim about the way the Angels came back in Game 6 and 7. We'll hear in their own words what it was like last October.
Ladies and gentlemen, the technology offensive has begun. Observe. Laser-guided adaptive cruise control, a rear-view camera, suspension that lowers at speed, headlights that turn to illuminate your path on curves.
Enough. So, what do we do now?
Introducing the entirely new Lexus RX 330, putting the world on notice again.
What do we do now?
K-Swiss, break it down like this. Break it down, K-Swiss. Got love for my shoes, K-Swiss. They're the classics, if you're gonna ask, kid. With an old school vibe that's outlasted. They're just a blast from the past, what's got them all past. Still in the race, no disgrace, and never last, kid. Can't stop, won't stop, never quits. Got love for my shoes, K-Swiss. Got love for my shoes, K-Swiss.
For more than a decade, we've gone where the stories
New
are.
York.
We've investigated the issues.
Answers now from Russia.
We've interviewed the people.
What did you make of these statistical numbers?
And uncovered the truth.
We came here to Vietnam because it is the poorest of the sneaker-making countries.
You've enjoyed this Emmy Award-winning journalism for years, and now it's on 5 nights a week.
2 replica jerseys did what a luxury SUV could not.
If war did break out in the Middle East, would they be?
OTL Nightly, weeknights following the late Sports Center on ESPN.
Crevier was just named the #1 selling BMW center in the nation. And we'd like to celebrate by making a pledge to the Susan G. Komen Breast Cancer Foundation. So for every mile you test drive a new or certified pre-owned BMW, we'll donate $1 in your honor. Stop by. Together, we'll drive out breast cancer.
Most people shop at Howard's because of their great selection of big screen TVs.
Not so fast. I say it's for the huge selection of brand name appliances.
No, big screen TVs.
No, appliances.
Big screens.
Appliances.
Big
Well, people also shop at Howard's for their guaranteed low prices, outstanding customer service, and next day delivery.
Big screens.
Honey, I'm telling you, it's appliances.
Big screens.
Appliances, big guy.
Enjoy a beer in front of a washing machine one time.
Last season, you see the numbers. Most of the majors in homers and ribbies. What does A-Rod have in store this season? He's been hurt a lot this spring, but as you can see, he's raring to go tonight. Opening night, Rangers at Angels. After this edition of Baseball Tonight, in about 37 minutes. The strike zone is constantly changing in baseball. Some umpires call a high strike zone, others a low strike zone. Now Major League Baseball is trying a new way to enforce a uniform strike zone, and most players have never even heard of a device called the Umpire Information System by Quest Tech. Sal Palantonio investigates.
Joey Eishen, a left-hander for the Montreal Expos, delivers a breaking ball to Timo Perez of the Mets. The umpire calls it a ball, but Quest Tech, the system selected by Major League Baseball to evaluate the men in blue, calls it a strike.
The adoption of Quest Tech is in an effort to provide a uniform, accurate strike zone to players in an era when we have 80 to 90 umpires in a season who don't typically see the same club more than 2 or 3 times.
For the last 2 years, the Quest Tech system has been used on a trial basis. It is now currently installed in 13 stadiums to evaluate how well umpires are calling balls and strikes. Using 4 cameras, a computer, and 1 operator, the system will track the estimated 280 pitches thrown in an average Major League Baseball game. The Umpires Union doesn't like it one bit.
The Quest Tech system is just not accurate enough for the major leagues. We're talking about the major league pitchers who put rotation on balls. Balls break, they move. And this system is not able to track the movement put on a ball by major league pitchers. It may predict a ball within about 6 inches, but that's just not close enough to be of any usefulness in evaluating major league umpires.
Quest Tech said that this was a strike. That's supposed to be a strike? I mean, it's an embarrassment.
How do the cameras measure where the ball is going to go?
Under the Quest Tech system, the cameras track the ball for a part of the distance. The last portion of the flight of the ball, the last 4 to 8 feet, depending upon the ballpark, is projected by the system. The cameras don't see the ball at all.
Where and how the pitch reaches the catcher's glove is irrelevant to where that pitch is in relation to the strike zone. What the camera measures is the pitch as it crosses into the strike zone.
So you're clearly confident that it's accurately predicting
absolutely.
Where the pitches are arriving.
Right. You see,
across the strike zone. Because that's one of the contentions of the umpires.
This dispute is not about in my judgment, is not about the accuracy of the system. This is a dispute about the accountability of umpires for the strike zone as it's defined in the rule book.
The umpires union is not only raging against the machine. QuestTech is not a fully automated system. It requires one operator per ballpark to determine the upper and lower reaches of the strike zone. In most cases, that operator is not a current or former umpire.
Not only do they not have umpiring experience, they don't have the information from the system to adequately do the job. They attempt to define the strike zone using a photograph, a still photograph taken while the ball is on the way. Well, these batters are in movement, are moving a lot.
The operator has no discretion other than establishing the upper and lower limit. But those are established against benchmarks that are pretty easily identified. The knee is not something that's difficult to pick up, nor is the belt buckle.
How could they call it a strike when their own camera shows that this pitch is above the strike zone?
To stop the use of QuestTech, the World Umpires Association has filed 2 grievances and is taking Major League Baseball to court. In the meantime, the system is in place.
The Commissioner's Office has announced that it expects umpires to make their calls 90% consistent with QuestTech, and that any umpire whose ball and strike calls are below 90% in agreement with QuestTech will be deemed as not meeting standards.
We're not looking to terminate any umpire because of his strike zone. What we are trying to do is motivate all umpires to reach an acceptable level of performance.
Hey, look, the point is, I think, fellas, and thank you, Sal, is that everybody wants you're managing, you're playing as uniform as it can be. I understand, although there are different individuals out there, but I don't think you guys buy that very much.
No, I mean, we're not taking an SAT for a college going into college. I mean, there is not the same scale. To me, I think the system's flawed. I got 2 problems with it. One, you got camera angles that are not good. Anytime you lose a ball for 3 to 4 feet, the last 3 or 4 feet, there's no way you can make an accurate call. I'd be severely upset if I were one of the umpires. This is a terrible way to try to judge human error. Bobby, what do you got? I know where you're going. You're fired up.
No, Chris, there's a lot of very good umpires out there. There's no doubt about that. But you want to know who the lousy umpires are? I'll tell you. You don't have to get a computer. Those other managers will tell you who they are. And what you should do is allow the managers after a game to put a report in right then after a game. If an umpire has 5 reports issued, that same umpire, by different managers around the league, go to the videotape, review the guy, and get him the heck out of here, because he probably is bringing down the game. We don't need computers. We don't need kids who have never played the game figuring out what a strike zone is, telling us who the guys are who should be officiating very, very big games at a very, very high level.
And I think the big thing, too, we miss here is that one of the things about being a veteran player in the big leagues, earning your stripes, you learn what the strike zone was with particular umpires, whether you're a hitter or whether you're a pitcher. And that played a big role in understanding and having the years of experience of understanding the game. We're taking that away from the players. I think we're missing a lot because that's part of the feel of the game.
I concur. There was really a difference way back when the players didn't move.
And not just the players, the umpires. Taking the feel from the umps.
And I hate to say it, but they're putting such an emphasis on this strike zone stuff that they're forgetting the umpire also has to control the game. He has to call the guy out or safe on the bases. He has to look at the fair and foul lines. There's a lot more to umpiring than just raising your right hand up when the ball comes across the dish. Let's get it right. Let's let the people who are playing the game dictate how the game should be played.
The only thing I want to ask you, Bobby, is if you're going to file one of those reports, are you wearing a disguise or not?
They'll see me.
You think he's going to put on a disguise? No, not at all.
When we return here at Anaheim, Peter's intriguing talk this spring with Barry Bonds. What's next for the magical left fielder of the National League champion Giants? And who picked the A's to win the World Series? They've gotten into playoffs. They haven't advanced. Is this their year? We'll be back with World Series picks and more.
neighborhood, it means you can call your brother in Toledo for 2 minutes. And your mother in San Diego for 2 hours. And the pizza guy down the street right now. And every call is the same. Call anyone in the country, talk as long as you want, as often as you want, for one low monthly price. Rack 'em up, people.
Get 50% off your first month in the neighborhood. Call 1-800-JOIN-MCI before May 1st.
I am baseball obsessed.
MLB 2004 is very realistic. It makes you feel like you're part of the game.
You're able to select pitch location, selecting the type of pitch you're going to throw.
As a competitive person, I love having control. There it is.
Sometimes you win. Ding dong, was that the school bell? Do you have a pad and pen with you? Are you able to take down any of this? Sometimes you lose.
You gotta love the low prices at Walmart. MLB 2004, rated E for everyone. Available now at Walmart. Oh, he was safe.
You gelling?
No telling how much I'm gelling. You gelling?
You know I'm gelling. Hey, Ellen, you gelling?
I'm gelling like a felon. You want some melon?
Nah, but hey, I'm like mud gelling. I'm so gelling.
Nice.
Are you gelling yet? Dr. Scholl's massaging gel insoles are made from the softest gel ever created. If you and your shoes don't feel outrageously comfortable, you get your money back. Guaranteed.
I'm gelling.
You're not gelling.
You're so not gelling.
Are you gelling yet? Dr. Scholl's. Look, feel, do better.
The Bambino to the Bronx Zoo.
You don't like it? You're fired.
Mr. October to Mr. November. Salute the Pinstripes' 100th birthday with a marathon of classics. Damn Yankees continues all this weekend only on ESPN Classic.
Who can forget late October, Game 6, Game 7 of the World Series right here at the Big E in Anaheim when the Angels forged a comeback for the ages. And you look back at that, maybe you say, maybe it was in the stars. The National Football League, in the 42nd year of their existence, the New England Patriots won an improbable Super Bowl. So what happens? In their 42nd year, the LA/California/Anaheim Angels won the World Series. This is a team with a history of, a few heartbreaking postseason losses, but Angel history until last October was more of just mediocre baseball and finishing far up the track. But it certainly all changed. Nobody, certainly not the Angels, can ever forget what happened here in Game 6 and Game 7 against the San Francisco Giants.
And the pitch to Dunston. Swing and a drive to left. Down the line. It is out of here. Rodriguez throws to Bonds, and Bonds hits a long one. This one is way back. Out of here.
Rodriguez a look, and here comes the pitch. Kent lines it. Deep to left center. That is a base hit. It is a 5-0 Giants lead.
I remember looking over to Joe, and we were down at that time, and I said, Joe, we're going to win this game. I think these guys are going to win this game.
Troy Goss and Brad Fulmer got on base. I was basically thinking, we need a run here somehow, some way. Rodriguez was throwing hard, 97, 98, keeping everything away from me. I kept following pitches back, and on the 8th pitch, he happened to make a mistake and throw it over the plate. And just got enough of the bat on it. On the way to first base, it seemed like a half an hour, but I was praying on the way to first, and luckily it got out.
At the wall, he can't get it! Home run! And they're back in the ball game!
Just leading off, down by 2, you try and work the count a little bit, and he laid one in there, and he made a mistake, and just trying to put a good pass on the ball, and it went out. I sure wasn't trying to do that.
Here's the pitch by Worrell. Drive hit into right field. That ball is crushed. That ball is gone. And they are within 1 in the bottom of the 8th.
Trying to hit the ball on the ground, basically, just try to tie the game up and give ourselves a chance to continue. You're not trying to give it all back in one swing, but fortunately, we left the ball up. And I was fortunate enough to hit it in the gap and score both.
Nen delivers, and it's belted! Left field, in the gap! It's in there for a double! Here comes Biggins! Here comes Anderson! The Angels take the lead! 6-5!
I think Game 6 is probably one of the more extraordinary comebacks that I've been a part of. For us to whittle that lead down and come back in the fashion that we did, I think definitely carried over to Game 7.
I remember warming up before Game 7. Just you could hear those thunder sticks. We had really a lot of momentum going into that game, and I really just wanted to, start off well and keep that momentum rolling for us. It was still early in the game. Situational at that time. He didn't have anywhere to put me at that point. There's nothing he could throw get me out.
The 1-1 pitch. Swing, and that's a shot down the right field line. A base hit. It rolls into the corner. Eckstein scores. Erstad scores. Salmon being waved home. And they all score! A 3-run double for Anderson. 4-1 Angels.
There's a lot of emotion to knowing I had two guys on and Kenny Lofton coming up there. So I told myself, just don't make a mistake with it. Make a quality pitch. Keep the ball away from it. And sure enough, as soon as I threw it out there, saw it headed right off to Ersty.
Not many people get to say they get to touch the last ball of the season, and especially Game 7 of the World Series. So it was pretty special. Looking back on it, I'm sure glad I didn't drop it.
When the game was over and Benji told me why he didn't jump on me after the last out, he said, I knew you were tired, so I decided when I got there not to jump on you. And now you see every picture where he's about 6 feet in the air jumping down on top of me.
The whole field transformed into something I'd never seen before. I mean, just all the celebrating on the field and under the lights and the fans, and it was very, surreal or dreamlike.
Did we have to show that?
Had to show that.
I mean, with all due respect to the Angels, and it was unbelievable. For one weekend, my Giants became the Red Sox. I don't know how it happened.
Wow.
But give all credit.
It was fun while it lasted, though.
Give all credit to the Angels. It was unbelievable, and nobody will ever forget it. Certainly no Giant fans. And I know you have, and there were memories other than just the great comeback, because it was a series of ebb and flow and amazing. The Bonds home run here in Game 2. Are you kidding me?
Rally monkey is what I know. Really, go back to even when I was in high school, 1978. I love the fact that Reggie Jackson and Bob Welch, that's what Barry Bonds and K-Rod reminded me of in the World Series last year. Remember this? When Welch struck out Reggie? And that was a huge strikeout. Reggie came back in Game 6, took him yard in New York. Reg, we don't have it. Okay, but then K-Rod had struck out Barry Bonds, so we don't show Barry striking out. And then we got in the line out, I should say. And then Barry came back and hit that Titanic home run. Those are the matchups in the Fall Classic that you will remember. I will always remember that. And that was a World Series memory for me with the Giants and the Angels.
And one side on the Giants, we're about to hear from Barry Bonds, is that no one will ever talk again about he can't perform in the end. Please, can we put that one to rest, please? When we return, Peter will talk with Barry Bonds. 73 homers 2 years ago, 370 at the age of 38 last year. Is he one of the greats? Who are?
Who are the 4 greatest players of all time? Right now, of all times, Hank has to be one, Babe Ruth has to be the other, Willie Mays has to be one, and my other one would have to be Ted Williams.
You're going to be in the top 4 when you're done?
Once I pass Babe Ruth.
Introducing MVP Baseball 2003. Rated E for everyone. EA Sports. It's in the game.
When are we leaving?
Time to leave. Gotta get rid of this pain fast.
The moment of choice, Tylenol or Advil? Which will work better on muscle aches? Truth is, with Advil liquid gels, you can feel better, faster. Only Advil liquid gels give you advanced, liquid-filled capsules that work faster, stronger, better than Tylenol on tough pain. Advil liquid gels rush relief where you need it. Gentle on your stomach, too. For better relief, advance to Advil.
Is your remote control ready for an endurance test? With MLB Extra Innings, your favorite players, your favorite teams are never more than a click away. Call 1-800-DIRECTV now and get up to 35 out-of-market Major League Baseball regular season games each week with the MLB Extra Innings package from DIRECTV. It's only $139 if you order by March 30th. That's a $20 savings. All the action you and your remote can handle, only with MLB Extra Innings. Order now.
ESPN.com presents ESPN Motion, capturing sports as it should be, in motion. ESPN Motion revolutionizes online sports with the highest quality video highlights on the web. The fastest and easiest way to get all the breaking news and developments in the world of sports.
Matchups in every conference.
Log on to ESPN.com via your high-speed internet connection and see how you can watch up-to-the-minute news, highlights, analysis, and interviews. ESPN Motion, television on your computer, only at ESPN.com.
Edison Field nearly full. The same can be said about Shea Stadium tomorrow. Cubs and Mets at 1 Eastern time. Expos and Atlanta at 1 Eastern on ESPN2. Opening day continues on Monday. Pirates take on the Cincinnati Reds in what was the traditional opener. St. Louis opens up the fence in the Central Cloud against the Brewers at 4 Eastern. Yankees and Blue Jays, ESPN2 at 7 Eastern. And don't forget baseball tonight. Our first home game during the regular season follows that game. Well, Edison Field is beginning to fill up. They're playing the top 5 memories from last year. Game 6 World Series, the fans voted #1. Didn't work well for the Giants, who, unlike the Angels, changed their whole look this season, but the constant is Barry Bonds.
Well, it is. Yeah, Richard Riley and I were kidding in the spring about, okay, he hit 73 home runs 2 years ago. He won the batting title last year. He should hit 400 this year. It only would have been 12 more hits would have gotten to 400. But, you know, when you start talking to Barry, it always comes back to one thing, the tradition of his father, Bobby, and Willie Mays, and winning. Barry, when you arrived in spring training, you said that you got over the disappointment of the World Series when your wife reminded you that you said what you wished for was just to play in a World Series. What do you wish for now?
I'm not making too many wishes right now, Peter. You know, we played our hearts out. They just played better. That's the bottom line to it. But I did get my wish. But, you know, I wish to win next time.
Well, how important is it to hit this year, to hit the 48 homers to pass Willie Mays?
It's going to be tough, Peter, for me. It's, I'm just trying not to think about it. You know, Willie Mays has been my idol my entire lifetime. And how do you pass your idol? As someone that you looked up to your whole entire life, it's very difficult, very hard to deal with right now. I don't know how those emotions are how it's gonna come out when that day comes.
How do you think people perceive you around the country?
I don't know. I never really asked anyone. I have no idea. I hope that you know, they perceive me as a good baseball player, because that's the only really part they really do see. I hope that I'm bringing joy in their life. I hope that, you know, some of the kids that are watching me, you know, get the opportunity to learn something or see my work ethics or something.
David Eckstein said that you were one of the best teachers he's ever met. Tell me about that relationship.
You know, I sat there on the field, Peter, and I'm watching this kid take ground balls. And every time he took a ground ball, I said, he ain't reaching first base. Then I watched him in the cage, and I studied this guy, and I'm going, this man's ability is, he doesn't have the best ability, but he gets the best out of what God has blessed this kid with better than anyone I've ever seen. People can watch me, and it can be easy, Peter, because my talent helps me, and with my hard work. But I was blessed with talent. David doesn't have the best talent, but he has the best work ethics I've ever seen, ever.
Let's pretend that you fast forward, you've retired, you're sitting and you decided to sit on the set of baseball tonight. What would you ask yourself?
What would I ask myself?
Yeah, what would you ask Barry Bonds?
Wow. How do you do it? Probably the same thing everyone always asks me. How do you do it? Same thing I ask Willie. How do you do it, Willie?
What do Willie say to you?
How do you keep yourself? Successful people don't have to have wake-up calls. Don't need anyone to motivate them. Successful people are self-motivators. And so I said that was a good enough answer for me.
So who are the 4 greatest players of all time?
Right now, of all times, Hank has to be one, Babe Ruth has to be the other, Willie Mays has to be one, and my other one would have to be Ted Williams.
You're going to be in the top 4 when you're done?
Once I pass Babe Ruth.
Number 46, pitcher.
He's already established himself as one of the best. This man in the process of establishing himself as one of the best to ever play. A-Rod and the Rangers getting set to take on the Angels. Who will win the West? Who will win the World Series? The predictions from our prognosticators coming up.
Pitcher CJ.
Anniversary V-Rod. Claim yours before they're gone.
It's the dugouts, the warm-ups, the smell of the gloves, the dreams. It's the double plays, the bunts, the steals, the diving catches. It's the bigs. It's the bottom of the ninths. It's the 3 and 2s. It's the going, gones. The plays are made with Rollins.
War with Iraq. When it matters most, stay with Peter Jennings and the people of ABC News for breaking developments. Only ABC News, with Ted Koppel reporting from the front lines with the Army's 3rd Infantry Division. ABC News, reporting live from across Iraq with advancing U.S. troops. Morning, throughout the day, evening, late night. ABC News, always there. War with Iraq. When it matters most, turn to ABC News.
If you're looking for a new car in the $25,000 range, check out a new Mercedes-Benz from Fletcher Jones Motor Cars. With our exclusive First Mercedes Purchase Program, you could be driving a new 2003 C230 compressor sport coupe starting at just $24,950 for a new Mercedes-Benz. Call us at 949-718-3000 or drive over today to Jamboree at the 73.
Fletcher Jones Motor Cars, Mercedes-Benz, Newport Beach.
80 years of experience. Booms. Busts. Downpours. Fiscal firestorms. Falling rates. Rising tides. And we end up with 40 million customers and over $500 billion in assets. We can weather anything and help make sure you do too. Insurance, loans, retirement. AIG. We know money.
Hey, anything I might say on this mic about you, it's not true, right?
Exactly.
All right. Come on, what you guys say talking to the mic? Come on, talk to me. See, they ostracize me. Is that a word? And you enjoy watching what instead? Professional wrestling?
I like to watch Animal Planet.
Animal Planet. You heard it here first. Do they have high definition on Animal Planet? They do? So they beat ESPN to the punch? Woo! That was close. And teach it. All right, I'm gonna show you right here. Triple. That's 3 triples right there. With my speed, 3 triples.
Well, the Angels getting ready. They're being introduced behind us right now. And meanwhile, we have not dealt with the Western Division yet. And so Bobby, Peter, Harold, they're the picks of the 2 West. Well, remember, both World Series teams were wild cards out of the Western Division. By the way, I got to like Norman Greenbaum behind us. I got to get, Spirit in the Sky doesn't get better than this as the Angels being introduced. Where are we going in the West? I mean, everybody won over 90 games. 3 teams in each division won at least 90 games.
It's going to be a dogfight, just like last year, but I'm picking the Giants to win it because I think they're better this year than they were last year. You bring in Cruz, Edgardo Alfonso, and Ray Durham to add to that lineup. I think they'll be much better. The question mark, obviously, will be their pitching. But I think Felipe Alou, if you're going to replace Dusty Baker, not a bad guy to bring in. The Oakland A's, I like their outfield. Jermaine Dye is going to be healthy a full season. He's back to playing like he was when he was in Kansas City. I think you move Terrence Long to left field and you bring Singleton in, who's injured right now, but we will play full time after he gets back. That makes them a better defensive club. I think they'll be better off. They got the great pitching.
Well, the Giants, man, I think are really going to have the better year offensively, and that we'll see what they can do. You're coachable, though. I like that. Bobby, you like some of the pitchers in Arizona that people don't talk about. We know about Johnson and Schilling. You like some of the others.
Yeah, I think Kim and DeSenz will really make a difference on that staff. Kim can really do it. Manti can throw 100 miles an hour and close out games. I like them. They can score plenty of runs, and it's an Arizona Diamondbacks. They can do their thing out there in the West. And further out west, you get the Seattle Mariners in the American League. Absolutely. That guy right there, Edgar Martinez, is one of the greatest hitters to ever play. He might be in the last year of his contract, but he'll be surrounded by John Olerud and Boone, who can also play. And Ichiro's taking it to another level this year. They have 3 terrific relievers. When you talk about Nelson and Rhodes and Sasaki, I like the Mariners, but it's just opening day, and it's also in the sky.
It's hard to argue with you and pick the Mariners.
Of course, the Mariners have a new first-year manager, Bob Melvin, and the Blue Notes, who under Bob Brentley saw him win his first year as skipper. Our spirits on the field are Carl and Peter. Guys?
Chris, thank you. There have been a number of deals. Rubio Durazo is now a member of the A's and provides some offense. You picked Oakland and you picked Arizona in the West. How come?
I love it. I think the 3 best teams in the National League are all in the West, and I think the Dodgers may end up in the playoffs or the Giants, but Arizona, to me, is the team to beat in the National League. And I think that young Kim, as Bobby was talking about, is going to be a dominant starter. Bobby made a great point. One of these weekends, Schilling, Johnson, and Kim are going to sled down 45 to 50 guys. And it's again because the starting pitching that I think the A's will win. Zito, Mulder, Hudson have been 1-2 in the Cy Young 3 consecutive years. They're all the guys that take responsibility. Any one of them could have won the Cy Young. I think Ted Lilly really helps them. This is a very, very good team. And you know one thing, Billy Beane will go out and get the 2 players he needs come July.
How many wins does Kim get?
I think Kim will win 16 games.
Welcome back, folks. We've seen who are going to win the divisions. You don't even have to win a division to win a World Series. The Angels were the wild card winner last year and won it all. We'll come back, set for opening pitch. We will tell you who will represent each league in October and who will win the crown.
Thank you. Sony. Samsung. Hewlett Packard. Motorola. Bing.
Hey, it's not my party. Don't look at me.
For the latest name brands and answers to your questions, come to Radio Shack. Get this Sprint color screen phone, only $49.99. View the web and download images in color.
I always wanted to be a name dropper.
Howie!
What?
Radio Shack.
Rejuvenate your 75,000-mile engine with Pennzoil High Mileage Vehicle. The motor oil specially formulated for the needs of your older, wiser vehicle. Pennzoil, we're driving protection.
Inside every can of Minwax is the secret to enhancing wood's natural beauty. Minwax rich wood stains and long-lasting protective finishes make it easy to turn any house into a beautiful home. Minwax makes and keeps wood beautiful.
Cigarette cravings can appear out of nowhere. Taking Nicorette on a regular schedule will help keep cravings away. If you encounter a really tough craving, take an extra piece. Nicorette helps you quit, one craving at a time.
As cool as the other side of the
Chili's to go and college hoops. Tune into college basketball on ESPN and ESPN2.
Baseball Tonight, presented by Radio Shack. You've got questions, we've got answers. And in part by Pennzoil. The motor oil you choose matters. Pennzoil Motor Oil, developed for the way you drive. We're driving protection. And by Minwax. Turn your house into a beautiful home with Minwax wood stains and finishes.
Well, we're back, so are the Rally Monkeys and the Thunder Sticks, but you don't have the Angels winning the division or the wild wild card. So who's in the World Series and who wins?
Oakland and Arizona, and Oakland beats Arizona.
We'll take that for now. I'm a big fan of Oakland and Philadelphia. Boomer, back to you.
All right, Carl, the Angels have just been introduced. As you hear in the background, the world champs being introduced. So, we're going to be the world champs at the end of October.
Well, I say it's Boston over Arizona.
Boston.
The ghost is dead.
Boston.
I'm going out there.
Whoa! Well, you come out of the dugout, you're going to give us Boston.
I'm bringing it back to the West Coast. I should say keeping it back west. I'm picking the Giants to win it all. I just think they're the team to beat this year.
You are coachable. Giants, Yankees. That's chalk, I know, but we'll see.
But the Angels, what happened?
Yankees have too many problems in their bullpen and too many books in their clubhouse.
Well, let me tell you something. I think the Angels love the fact that no one's picking them. That's exactly what they like, isn't it?
They like
Don't
that.
you like
Laying
that?
in the weeds.
Hope you have enjoyed this 90-minute edition of baseball tonight. For Carl Ravitch and Peter Gammons and Bobby Valentine, welcome aboard. And Harold Reynolds, I'm Chris Berman. Thanks for watching. Enjoy the game. You know, to me, it's always a treat at ball games to pause before we play the game. And in these times, it is so much more poignant to hear our national anthem. The crowd, as you can hear, is ready. Ladies and gentlemen, here at Anaheim, we're going to kick off the season in a very special way. Ladies and gentlemen, the Star-Spangled Banner.
In service to our nation, both in the past and during these trying times, we ask each of you to please observe a moment of silence. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. And now to honor America, please join members of the 1st Marine Expeditionary Force Band as they perform our national anthem.